What's up, cool kids? FD White. So looks like the market is trying to recover. We talked about this over in the Telegram. Make sure you guys come to the Telegram, the Cool Kids Alpha Club. Link will be in the pinned comments. We talked about getting a small bounce going into the weekly close, and it looks like we are getting some sort of a bounce in crypto. Once you see some sort of a flush out that big, that massive, it's inevitable that we get some sort of a bounce, even if it's a dead cat bounce. So we want to take advantage of that, but we also want Bitcoin to start to reclaim some key levels that we're going to look at in a second. But without further ado, I'll go by FD White. Welcome to the channel. Make sure you like, subscribe. If you find some value in this video, watch it for a few minutes. I think I'll have some things that'll interest you, and we can go from here. So first and foremost, let's go over to the crypto bubbles. Right now, it looks like a sea of green. We have AI up 72.1%, Dash up 34.6%. Haven't heard that name in a while. Morpho is up 18%. So MNT is up 28.4%. We can see a lot of green across the board. ETH is up 8%, almost 8%. So I think ETH is back above 4,000, and Bitcoin, like I said, is up 2%. We are back above 14K at the time of recording, sitting at 114,560. Speaking of Bitcoin, let's go over here. So this is what I'm looking at. I like what I'm seeing, but I'm cautious, and I'm cautious for two, possibly three reasons. Number one, let's go over this. We're looking at this chart. We talked about this breakout. We talked about everybody getting overly bearish as we were consolidating in a bullish pattern, and these bullish patterns have continued to play out throughout the cycle. So we talked about this bullish pattern. We went up all the way down here. We've been just talking about this over on the channel for a while. Finally broke out, got up to 126,000, had our huge historic flush. Now it looks like we are starting to get back above this pattern, break out from this pattern. So first and foremost, what I want to see is a reclaim of this 116 to 116.5K level. This is the level that I've been talking about over the past 3 or 4 months that we have to stay above. And then we have that $120,000 level that I want to continue to hold. That would tell me in the short term if we are bullish or a little bit bearish. I would say in between 116 and 120 is kind of like limbo. This is limbo, but I will take this. Even if we can get back above there, start to break back above that $120,000 level, I would actually take that. But first and foremost, like I said, we need to reclaim this 116 to 116.5K level. This has acted as a major support and resistance level back in the past, and we can just go by price action. We can see all this price action here, all this action around 116, 116.5, 116, 116.5. Here again where we broke out, here again where we came and just sliced right through it. Now it looks like we're trying to work our way back up to there. So how we react there, maybe we come up, maybe we use it as resistance, but we form some sort of a flag right below it, and then maybe we can pop back into this range between 116 and 120. But what am I looking at? What am I looking at for Bitcoin, and what are some bearish things that can potentially happen for Bitcoin? So first and foremost, I'm on the daily. Look at what I'm looking at. We have this now, and we've been holding this. This is our neckline that we've been holding perfectly. Now it looks like we may be trying to do something like that, and that's a head and shoulder pattern. We don't want that to happen. So like I said, once we do, or if we do break into this 116 to 116.5K level, we must, and I mean we must, break out back above this $120,000 level with haste, and then, you know, potentially start taking out these highs here. So I don't think the top is in. I really don't think the top is in. I think with the Trump tariffs coming and him talking about 100%, putting 100% tariffs on China, it was just inevitable that the market will go down. But like I said, over in the Cool Kids Alpha Club, make sure you guys come over to the Telegram. It was so much liquidation below us. Let me see if I can quickly find it. I just said it was so much liquidations or so much liquidity below us that that's not it, but it was so much liquidity below us that even if we got some sort of a sell-off, it was going to be a cascading effect. Yeah, I love this move. So I said this on like October 1st or the first week of October. I said I love this move, but we still have tons of liquidity below us. Analyzing different scenarios now. Update soon. So we were up. We passed this and we were just going up. But look at all these hot spots. All these hot spots coming down: 114, 113, 111, 110, 107, 108, right here, 107. So we had a lot lot of liquidity below us. And that's why I was kind of weary when I was making these videos. If you looked at some of my past videos, I said Bitcoin is breaking out, but beware, something like that. Bitcoin is hitting all-time highs, but I'm still not that excited. Just something, I was making titles like that, but it was actually because I was looking at all that liquidity below us. And we still have a CME gap down at about $110,000 to $111,000 that we have not filled, because we came down below, but we didn't feel it during market hours. We filled it after hours. So we technically did not feel that CME gap that was coming in somewhere around 110.5 to 111. We can look at the CME really quick. Our CME was about 109,955, and CME is usually about $1,000, a little over $1,000 above spot. So we'll say somewhere between 110 and 110.5 for our CME. So even if we're pumping right now, we came back down close to the CME gap. So maybe we come back and feel that, so at the top of this week. But like I said, what I'm looking at for Bitcoin right now is I do not want to create this head and shoulder pattern. We have the shoulder here, we have the head here. And what I don't want to see is a shoulder, possibly, let's actually do this here, possibly coming back to get rejected at that 116.5K level. So to create a new shoulder or another shoulder here, and then the breakdown. We break down from that. It would be probably bad if the measured move played out. We have to be prepared for any scenario. Like I said, what I'm looking for is reclaiming this 116, getting back up to this 120, and then potentially our last rally going into the tail end of the year. Still pretty bullish going into, the end of October, going into November. But also we have to look at stocks. Stocks were down. The NASDAQ was down 3.5%. The S&P, so we'll click on it. Just look at this huge daily candle. This is massive. So the NASDAQ was down 3.5%. The S&P was almost down 3%. The Dow was down almost 2%. So I want to see how these open. I want to see how futures open, and I want to see how the market opens tomorrow. I think that will dictate if our rally continues in crypto. So we'll continue to watch that. We'll continue to watch and see what Trump says about the tariffs. We'll see if China retaliates. China did come out and say that Trump is responsible for all this nonsense and things like that. And then we also seen JD Vance come out and say that Trump was ready to talk, or was ready to sit down and hear, both sides of the table. So that's some good news. But like I said, this move that we had over on Friday was crazy. Of course, it was a little bit of manipulation, a bit of manipulation. It was a lot of liquidity liquidity hunts. And now we try to recover. That's pretty much what we need to do. And this week, what do we have coming up? Let's actually make this a little bit bigger. So we don't really have too much going on. We have Fed members speaking over the next few days. We have Monday, Tuesday, Fed members speaking, Wednesday, Fed members speaking. And Thursday, we are supposed to get PPI. We're supposed to get core retail sales, core PPI, and we're supposed to get unemployment claims. But if the government shutdown continues, we will not get that. So we are just kind of flying blind when it comes to data. And then Friday, we're supposed to get some more things that really aren't going to mess with the market too much, unless you're in like real estate, things like that, and you keep up with building permits, housing starts, and things like that. So for the most part, what we're doing is we're looking at Bitcoin. We're looking at the overall market, like I said, which is looking pretty green right now. So we have about 6 or 7 hours before weekly close. I think I'm going to live stream that again, and then we'll continue to watch this. And we are trading. Everybody's had leverage this, leverage that. No, leverage is a tool that you use. First and foremost, your overall portfolio should not be leveraged. This is just my opinion. This is not financial advice. Your main portfolio should not be a leveraged portfolio. You should use leverage, not financial advice, as you trade. And if you want to trade, you don't even have to trade with leverage. You can trade spot and not have a liquidation price. But I'm trading on TooBit, and I'm also trading on BTCC, because I talked about this over in the group, in the Telegram group. I told my community that, okay, Bitcoin is having its problems, crypto is having its problems, altcoins can't hold a bid. So let me scroll down and tell you and show you exactly what I said to the community. I said, trading crypto, stocks, gold, silver from here on out. I feel like I've been too hyper focused on crypto and missing out on easier opportunities like gold and silver. I'm trading these on BTCC. So I do have a link. If you come over to my Telegram, I will have it in the description as well. But BTCC has tokenized stocks, tokenized commodities, and they also have Forex. So if you want to just trade to make money and then bring it back to the crypto market, I think that's a good idea. That's what I'm going to be doing. Gold is in a bull market. Silver is in a bull market. Other commodities. I didn't see any other commodities, but I know gold and silver is over there. They have Nvidia. They have, the tech stocks. They have the indices, the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow. So it's always a bull market somewhere. You just have to find it. So with that being said, I'm going to take that information and I'm going to start trading more than just crypto. And then we'll inevitably come back over to crypto and put more in Bitcoin and try to catch some more of these moves before the bull run is over. So I'm not one of those people to come on and tell you to click the link, but if you want to click the link, click the link. So we will have that. And we do have TooBit. We have a $50 deposit bonus if you want to trade on TooBit. So that's free money as well if you want to trade. But for the most part, we're watching that for Bitcoin. We're watching stocks, how stocks open, how futures open in a few hours, and then how stocks open up tomorrow. And then we'll let the market tell us what it wants to do. My thesis is that we recover. Solana is up 10%. Looks like Ethereum is back above 4,000. We're at 4,135, up 10% on the day. Chainlink is up 11. ADA is up 10%. So a lot of coins are bouncing back, pretty well. So we'll see if it continues. So this is FD White. I appreciate you for watching. Like I said, if you found value, any type of value, make sure you like, subscribe, come on to the Cool Kids Alpha Club, where we are cool, calm, and collected. We stay rational in irrational markets, and we try to guide and help each other through these tumultuous times. So like I said, happy Sunday, have a good day, and I'll talk to you in a minute. Peace.